All right. So let's move on. This sounds like a story that I did before, and it's not. I promise you, it's not. It's similar, which is kind of creepy that there are more people who think this way, but I promise you, it's not the same story.
I'm a 57-year-old man, and my daughter, Jane, who's 21, has recently been accepted into the university of her choice. Now, me and my wife, who's 55, are glad with this news. The only thing is that Jane got accepted to do an English degree. Now, Jane, compared to her two brothers, Mark and Leo, who are 28 and 30, was quite late in applying to university. When me and my wife asked her to apply at 18, she claimed that she wasn't ready and wanted to have a little rest. A little rest being going out with friends and traveling the whole of last year with her boyfriend. It should be noted that I supplied Jane with all the money needed for her little rest. Now, me and my wife hold nothing against Jane for doing what she did. She's young, and young people live to explore and do what they do. However, before me and my wife allowed for Jane to do her thing, we made her promise that when she did apply to university, it was for a degree that was worth it. Jane was going through a weird phase where she wanted to be many things that were more on the creative side. Fast forward a year later, and we find out that Jane's gone behind our backs and applied for an English degree. Both Leo and Mark pursued medical degrees and are now very good, well-paid doctors. One would think that this would motivate Jane to go down the same path, but instead, she decided to be herself. I sat down Jane last night and told her that if she decided to go through with the English degree, I wouldn't support her at all, and that she would have to take out her own student loan. At this, she began crying, claiming that I was the worst dad ever and had always favored her brothers over her. Now, this is totally incorrect because I literally paid for her travel all of last year. My sons think that I'm being too harsh and that I should simply support Jane regardless of what she chooses. But is it too much to ask of my daughter to follow through with an actually useful degree?
Okay, he's the a-hole. He's definitely the a-hole. How you
Why did you pay for her travels? You obviously have a problem with it. Sorry.
Okay.
An English degree is not a degree. Okay. So she can't be a school teacher, an author, a consultant. What? Dude, everybody is not meant to be a doctor. It's not for everybody. Some of us are creative people. We operate in the creative side.
Now, I know you want to be you. Girl. You got to be your brothers. And you're wondering why she is fucking.
Okay. So here's the deal. You want somebody so bad. No, let me just be realistic. You want to control all aspects, and your brothers already done what you asked the sons, not the brothers. Your sons already did what you want them to do. They went word for word what you wanted them to do. So you cool with them.
Yep.
Your daughter who decide that's not my deal. And let's be totally clear. Tracy is absolutely right. You can have the intelligence enough to be a doctor. Doesn't mean you need to be a doctor.
No.
And some doctors don't need to be doctors. Horrible.
Did we not have a story of that little crazy ass nurse that we had a while back?
Mm-hmm.
She had the mindset to be a nurse, but she didn't have the
heart, the depth, the soul, the courage, anything.
No, she was just a psychopath.
I don't think she had the mindset of a nurse. No.
Yeah, she didn't have. Thank you, Anna. That's better. She didn't have the mindset to be the nurse, so she had the mind to be. She had the intelligence to be.
She had the degree, but not the.
So, the intelligence is one thing to have the intelligence to be a doctor, but being a doctor isn't for everybody. Like, really, some people, and be honest with you, some people don't want to see that stuff.
And pushing your kids to become doctors because they'll be successful. They'll have, you're saddling them with incredible amounts of debt. Incredible amounts. And like we just said not that long ago on an episode, being a doctor is as much as an art as it is a science. I know that's not for everybody.
Some people are...
I'm sorry. One of my degrees in English, I had freelance writing for a local newspaper and 2 regional magazines. I also tutored college students in English. Sad but true. We need more like you.
We do.
One would think that because her siblings became doctors, that would motivate her to do the same path. No, actually, you don't have to do the same thing as your siblings. You have your own choice.
Oh, boy, I know this story well. Oh, boy, this is what they do. Take my life and say, hey, here.
I never had that issue. But, and I don't think I did it to my kids. I don't. I just said, leave this world better off than what you came in with it. So whatever you decide to do, you can do it. Just, hey, daughter, you must not be who you are.
She could work for
I need to control you.
She could work for a federally qualified health clinic and get her loans forgiven. Okay, I'm like, well, she could.
Just let you know, you may want to start looking into who he wants you to marry.
Oh, no, he's already set that up. He did that when she was like 2 or 3 months old.
Good God.
Hey, some of those arranged marriages start as soon as the child is born.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In some countries.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next story. Psych.
We fell for it.
Yeah.
What? Okay, I forgot the story. What were
the father tried to force the daughter to be a doctor, but she got an English major.
Right.
This actually has a twist to it.
She told him where he could get off. No, don't disrespect your parents.
No. This actually has a twist to it. And I'm going to give you the spoiler somewhat. The father now understands. Remember, this is on Reddit where people will blast you on some of the stupidest things you did, and this dude got blasted.
Good.
So he started to understand. That's not the worst part. That's not what's the bad part. The bad part is not because he changed his mind. The bad part is I want you to see what he actually was stopping his daughter from doing.
Almost 3 weeks later, OP posted an update. I'd like to start by saying that I appreciate all the comments that were given, however unpleasant they were. They helped me understand that I was in the wrong, and some provided me with advice on what I should do if I wanted to keep in contact with my daughter. I realized that I was living too much in the past, and I wasn't taking into consideration how much things have changed in the last 30 years. My father worked as an artist and had little to no business. The only thing that saved my family from absolute poverty was my mother working in a supermarket. I guess I was afraid of these things happening to Jane. Now, I hadn't talked to Jane about her degree until last Thursday. When I brought up the topic, she confessed to me that she was ready to take one of the degrees that I recommended to her. I told her that there was no need, and she looked at me as if I was playing a cruel joke. I reassured her that I was being serious, and she began crying due to happiness. I realized that I may have been favoring my sons due to their obedience to follow what I asked of them, and I was punishing Jane for being herself rather than fitting into whatever I decided to make of her. Jane will be attending Oxford University later in the year? OP, your daughter got into Oxford and you almost shut her down? Wow. Okay. Sorry, I was shocked to read Oxford. Okay. To pursue her degree, and the relationship between us has never been better. I'm highly appreciative of all the comments on my previous post. They helped me see how much I was prioritizing financial gain over my daughter's well-being, something which should have never been in question in the first place.
Blah, 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 blah. You're still a control freak.
No.
My daddy was poor. So was mine.
No, I completely understand where this guy was coming
poor.
from.
I wanted to protect her. Man, shut up. You were still a control freak. Blah, 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 blah.
Here's the deal. I'm not taking away the action of what this dude did. The actions of what he did was bad. To find out that you actually were stopping your daughter from going to Oxford is even freaking worse, but I digress. What? Hey, dads, come here. Come a little closer. All dads and moms, because some of y'all are blittering idiots too. If I don't care if your child is going into a janitorial studies, because if your child can get into Oxford, just like the other moronic dad whose child got into Cambridge, and you stop them from going, we're not talking about a very prestigious school we're talking about one of the top 10 schools in the world. 4 decades on end. Cambridge.
It shouldn't matter though. Yale, she could have went to community college. She could have went to school online. He's a control freak. Period.
But I'm speaking from and Tracy, I'm not saying this to degrade you. I'm saying this because I have this experience. As a parent, you want the best for your child. It is a balancing act. You want your child beyond a shadow of a doubt not to suffer, but you also have to balance not trying to be controlling. It is a balancing act. And unfortunately, some of your experience in childhood and adulthood sometimes makes that decision too. That decision for them. So you have to fight the urge not to control them on certain things. At the same time, you just have this inkling of, I don't want my child to do something that she's doing or he's doing that I know they're going to suffer from it. I just know that they are. So you still have to talk to them. You still have to convince them, hey, maybe you, I don't know. Now, that being said, if your child gets into Oxford, shut the hell up. You act like getting into Oxford, and I'll go with what Tracy. You act like she got into Oxford as if she got into community college. No big deal.
And what's wrong with community college? It's cheaper.
There is nothing wrong with community college. If I knew then what I know now, community college and then straight into a 4-year college would have saved people thousands of dollars. Thousands.
And is college really necessary? Oh, no, I'm not going to get into that conversation.
It really depends on what you do. Honestly, no.
I mean, if you want to be a doctor, yes. If you want to be a doctor, yes, you need to go to college. If you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, a scientist, everything else,
I put it to you this way. Do you need to go to college for certain things? Yes. Is the money worth going to college if you actually honestly have no idea what you want to do? Absolutely not.
I'll tell you that. I'm 49, gonna be 50. I still can't tell you what I want to do. I'm like, oh no.
Nothing wrong with that. Let's see what everybody's with. Wait, so the father's completely fine funding the daughter to go do all this traveling and everything, but he's sadly not okay with funding the daughter's education.
English. He said an English degree was nothing.
Like, no, because I'm gonna tell you what he was thinking. He was thinking, oh, if I pay for her this 1 year to go travel, then she owes me. And now she'll do exactly what I asked her to do. And hey, Marlon, you do realize that we used to love you, right? I know. I know. You love me, but you hate me, but you love me. I know. It just isn't okay to dictate and be this controlling over your child's career path. Sure, you can give them advice or suggestions, but this is way too far without money, withhold money because you don't like the degree that she chose. And it's true. That's absolutely true. And the funny thing about it is, I really want people, parents again. I really want parents to stop dedicating their money depending on the degree they get, because you do understand that you can change your major in college. It doesn't literally mean whatever it is that you went to school. I mean, I've heard stories of people who have changed their majors. I have
many times
a story where a guy went for computer science. He graduated as an engineer because he didn't like computer science anymore. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
You can change your major. So stop going by, you're going to school for what? It changes. Some kids, be honest with you, probably put down a major just to put down a major.
Mm-hmm.
They have no clue what they want to do, but they have to put down a major. So here you go. English, literature, history.
And those are important. Those are important.
And those are important. But then they go to school, their horizon is open up, and they figure, no, I'd rather go study more on this. So ease up on what they started to go into school for.
How dare she pursue a degree that she wants to? I mean, next thing you know, she'll learn something. And when will it stop?
Again, she got into Oxford.
I'm saying
even if she got into Oxford and she went all the way through with English and got an English major. She got an English major from Oxford. Holy crap. She can write her own check and do what the hell she wants to do. Jeez. And many kids go to college with one desire as they take up different classes, change majors is common. To me, that's the most important part of college. Learning different things, different topics, people, etc.
Finding out who you are is a big part of that time in life. And how can you learn who you are unless you're trying different things?
This reminds me of the parents who groom their children in sports. Their child has an acumen for a certain sport, normally football or basketball. And the parent just is like, I'm going to ride this child's coattails. I'm going to push this child to do. And the child, they like it, but that's not what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yesterday, we was talking about traditions and why I don't like traditions. So Tracy, I'm agreeing with you 100%. I'll take it one step further. The military families, the family that always has a military child, at least one person in the military every generation.
Yep.
So we are grooming you to always be in the military. Now, it's what they worse than that. They already picked the branch.
Yeah, they didn't pick the branch. You're going to serve in the Marines. Well, why
you're going to serve in the Marine. Your grandfather was a Marine. I was a Marine, so you're going to be a Marine.
And they could want to serve in the Army or not serve at all.
That is a tradition. That was one of the things I was telling you about, Anna. That's a tradition. And we could go right back to college. Your granddad was with the college in North Carolina. I went to North Carolina. You're going to North Carolina.
And they may want to go to Duke.
Holy crap. The shit show that's about to happen is going to be huge.
Yeah, it's like y'all can wait.
It's going to be huge.
This is why if I ever went back to college, which I don't really think I'm going to do because it costs too much. Well, one, I have to figure out what it is I want to do. I'm going online. Forget all this stuff about being in all this debt and blah, 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 blah.
Too many people think that being in a richer upper class in society is the number one priority. It is somehow a failure to be anything less than that.
Amen, yeah. Parker, tell it.
And it's more than that, because what is upper and middle class for some people? House. You have to be a doctor. You have to be a lawyer. You have to be an engineer. You have to be a computer science.
And you know how crowded the law field is? You know how many lawyers don't get hired?
Yeah, I do know. And you know how hard it is to actually be a doctor. Like, everybody can sit there and say, I want you to be a doctor. And then you actually start getting to that thing and realize I'm way over my head.
Or I just want to be a nurse. How dare you? How dare you be just a nurse?
The majority of the people that works in labs at doctor's office start off as wanting to be a doctor and realize, yeah, this ain't for me.
This not for me.
Nope, I'm gonna go ahead and work in this lab real quick since I already got this education.
Shoot,
so
I thought when I was little I wanted to be a teacher. Oh no, I don't. Nah.
I never wanted to be a teacher. I do how bad
I wanted to be a teacher, a firefighter, a police officer. What else did I want to be? A construction worker.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that last one?
Construction worker.
Oh, it's getting late. Tracy, look at the scholarships. There are thousands out there on so many different topics. You have to research. I got a ton of them. Some just for a few hundred dollars up to $1,000. And trust me, Tracy, when I tell you one thing, it's a whole lot easier now to internet.
Yeah, but I have to figure out what it is I want to do. Yeah, see, I gotta get past that part. I have like a bunch of interests.
But that's the deal, though. I'm gonna give you this one, and then we're gonna move on. That's why you would go to community college.
Yep.
Not because it's cheaper, because it is, but that's when you do your elective. All your electives in community college. Get them out the way. 50-50 chance that while you're doing your electives, that what you decide to major in comes up.
Yeah, because I thought political science, I thought social work, I was like, well, I'll figure it out.